So if you're preparing for the Camino de Santiago 2025, listen up. Apparently the biggest problem on the Camino right now is the crowds. No beds left, coffee lines. But is that really the whole story? I'm Ricky and Erica, my better half. Probably she's in the other room making her bag for another solo Camino. And today we'll diving into brand new stats, surprising new trends, and the most importantly, how to have a soulful and forgettable journey no matter where and when you go. And at the end of this video, we'll also be sharing the bonus tips on how to find a bed, even in the busiest season. And trust us, last year we actually made an experiment. We decided to walk during the peak months, May, June and July. In 55 days on the Camino we only booked 3 times, and only because we wanted a double room and on the weekends in the main touristic towns León and Oviedo. So yes, it's possible to find the space and we will show you how. Before we dive into the total number of pilgrims so far this year, let's take a look who has been showing up on the Camino the most. You remember last year's stats? Canada and France comfortably sitting in the top 10? Not anymore. The landscapes is shifting. Here is who's arriving to Santiago right now, and yes, some of these are real surprises. On the 10th places we have Brazil samming its way to the list with 13% increase. Vamos Brazil! On the 9th we have Korea down 2%. Maybe they just taking the break and perfectly choosing the backpack and packing list. On the 8th there is Mexico and slight shift to 1%, but the corazon of the Camino is definitely there. The island up 6%. Looks like the Green Island is trading cliffs for Caminos this year. Italy down 1%. Is this because of the Holy Year effect, or are they just still waiting for the pasta at home? And on the 5th, the UK up 10%, possibly because you walking across Spain sounds better than another grey summer. On the 4th place, USA, a 12% boost, proving once again that Americans really do love a good walk with their meaning. And on the 3rd, no surprises, Germany, solid, reliable, no change whatsoever, just like their engineering, constant as always. And on the 2nd, Portugal up 11%, and that's just because it's close by. These pilgrims know how to pick a good path. And on the 1st, the Spain still leading the way with a 3% increase. Drop a comment, where are you from and which Camino you're walking this year. Let's fill the comment section with pilgrims' dreams. And if you just want some soulful tips, real stories and honest insight on Camino de Santiago, subscribe to this channel. It is free and it helps us to keep the Camino real, raw and alive for everyone. Thank you. Let's take a look which routes are quietly gaining pilgrims and which one are being walked a little less this year. Camino del Norte 13% drop this year. Maybe fewer pilgrims led the road to the rugged coast and windy climbs this spring. The Via de Plata down 18%. One of the longest and the loneliest Caminos, or perhaps not the first choice when your weather is still uncertain. The first big surprise, Camino Primitivo up 15%. It's one of the most demanding trails, but maybe that's exactly what more people are looking for. Camino Ingles up 12%, a short route with deep roots. Erica will be walking it soon, so we will share more from the inside. Portuguese Coastal, another 20% up, nearly 9,000 pilgrims so far. The ocean breeze and the sense of space, no surprise, this one is growing popularity. Portuguese Central, a steady second with 12,000 pilgrims. There's not surprise here, beautiful blend of countryside tradition and ease. And obviously the first is the French way, still the most popular with 28,000 pilgrims walking so far. It may be busy, but there is a reason. People return to it again and again. But clearly the Camino landscapes is shifting. It's no longer just about one route. People are listening to what calls them, and this shift also reflected in where pilgrims begin their journey. Let's take a moment to talk about the pilgrims themselves. Who's actually out there walking the Camino? There has been 11% of increase of pilgrims aged 18 to 45, even in those colder months, a sign that the younger generation are seeking, are searching, maybe for simplicity, maybe for silence, or maybe for something they cannot name yet. Around 19,000 pilgrims were aged 46 to 65, steady hearts with stories in their steps. And 4,640 walkers with 65 and over. Few in the early months, sure, but likely waiting for the warmth of late spring. And here is something worth smiling about. 29,000 pilgrims are women and 27 are men. Looks like the women are leading with both feet and the heart this year. And why do people walk? 25,000 are for the religious reasons, 19,000 are for mix of spiritual, cultural and the personal ones, and 11,000 are non-religious reasons strictly, just walking their truth. So now we ask you, what's your reason? Is it a calling, a reset, a longing for something simple and real? If you're feeling that call, but you're not quite sure how to begin, where to start, what to pack, and how to find the bed each night, we're here for you. We're reopening our Caminotellers walking journeys waitlist for 2026. Not for the typical routes, but for something deeper. We will walk the last 100 kilometers of the Portuguese way, but with intentions, reflections, and the rhythm that leaves space for meaning. And beyond Spain, we're also guiding international pilgrimages to places like Japan or Canary Islands. Quiet paths, full-out transformations. If that speaks to something in you, drop your name and preferences in the link below, just in the descriptions. We will keep you in the loop when the time is right. The final numbers aren't lying. We might have had that fewer pilgrims walked this year, but that's simply because the Easter week came earlier. In reality, we already seen 58,000 pilgrims. That's a 6% increase compared to the same time last year. But statistics only tell a part of the story. Some people walk without registering. Some skip Santiago. Some walk 3 days, other 30. Some walk in silence, invisible to graphs, but full of meaning. So, worried about the crowds? Don't be. There are 3 small shifts that can make a huge difference on your Camino. The first one, start 5 kilometers before Sarria or Tui or any other main stage. This lets you ease into the rhythm and skip the bottlenecks. The second, sometimes book private albergues or walk in April or October. These shoulder seasons give you space to breathe. Or the third, begin in the midweek instead of the weekends. Fewer groups, fewer lines, and more peace. Those easy tips really make a huge difference, trust us. Because the Camino isn't about rushing or racing, it's about presence. And sometimes the quieter paths are the ones that speak the loudest. So if you've decided to walk the Portuguese Camino, you really should check out this video. We dive into the routes option, common mistakes, and how to make it your own. And if you're still wondering why your backpack feels heavier than your intentions, watch this one just here. We will walk you through how to pack only what truly matters. Buen camino and ultrea.